Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Musa Gaming here, and today I'll be doing the best commanders to invest in Rise of Kingdom tier list. Now, I know that there's a lot of videos out there that has been published about the same topic with people who has a lot more experience with Rise of Kingdoms. So this is just my opinion, and again, just think of it as another reference for you to actually take a look at. I'll try to explain as much as possible why I try to put some commanders in specific tiers. But with that said, let's just go ahead and jump right to it. Now, I'll go over first what each tier means. So this S plus tier, only God tier in Rise of Kingdoms. This is basically going to be, there's going to be only one commander in this tier per video that I make for this. So there'll be only one only God. Again, only God. Let me just emphasize this a little more. Only God here in Rise of Kingdoms. So there's going to be the best command. This is going to be the best commander in Rise of Kingdoms at that very moment. And then best good candidate, best God candidate. So this is going to be only one commander for me to suggest for each troop type. That is going to be the best, if not in the God tier. So this is probably the best commander for you to invest in for each troop type, whether that is leadership, whether that is archer, whether that is cavalry, whether that is infantry. And engineering, I'll just put it aside. Oh, maybe engineering, yeah, I'll include that in there. But again, the best God candidates. Engineering, actually, I'll just go ahead and put it somewhere else. Preseason conquest only, so this is for people who are looking to invest in preseason conquest. I'll actually put it in specific order so that the best one actually comes to the very front. So that is easy for you to take a look at. Now, A is great but sus. So this means that this commander is really good right now, but they're a little sus. They can be replaced by whatever comes out in the next troop type, whatever release. And you probably should invest in it right now if you need the field march right away. But then again, there is a little bit of suspicions going on out there, and like, hey, like if the next one comes in, your investment might go away. So in Rising Kingdoms, obviously one of the best resources that you have is one, speed up, and two, commander sculpture. So something that you have to be careful of right here. So and then rally and garrison only. I'll just list the best rallies and garrison commanders only, but then again, just put them in the specific order so that you understand. And good now, but can't recommend investing today. So this is some commanders that can be used right now, but then again, you can't expect them to basically do well in the future. And C is barely usable. D is trash. C is for commanders that are like, that are not in the meta marches, but you can technically use them somewhere else. So, and then F is straight up Lubu tier. This is trash. I'll actually start off with a Lubu. Where is Lubu? Where is Lubu? Yeah, Lubu tier. Don't use him. Don't use him. Just don't use him. Period. But anyways, so let's first take a look at the only God tier in Rise of Kingdoms. I'll go down the list. And actually, after maybe after the rally and garrison only, I'll actually go over the list one by one. But let's see. So S plus only God tier in Rise of Kingdoms. I think everyone probably guessed it, but the only God tier Rise of Kingdom right now is Arthur. Now, the reason why he's the God tier, probably the best commander for you to invest in Rise of Kingdom at this very moment, is for two reasons. For one, let me actually zoom this out a little more so that it's easier for you to see the Lubu. Hi, Lubu. Anyways, uh, for for one, Arthur is currently used as a skill damage commander, but his actual usage, original use, intended usage was actually for Delta commander, in my opinion. So now, until we get the next field combo slash Delta commander in Rise of Kingdoms, you're actually technically not using the fullest potential of Arthur yet. So that means that whatever commander comes out next, although he is currently the strongest commander in Rise of Kingdoms to be used as a skill damage commander, he can still be very, 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 very useful when combo next open field combo / Delta commander does come into the game. So that's why he is undoubtedly the only god tier in Rising Kingdom, in my opinion. Again, this is just my opinion. So the best commander to invest in, I don't think there's a lot of people who argue against Arthur at this very moment. If you have played in KVK, Season of Conquest, I think you can tell probably how strong he is at the moment. Now, moving on to the best god candidates. So these are the commanders that, let's say, if you're not maining Cavalry, this is one commander that you should actually work on. And in my opinion, for leadership, it is undoubtedly Philip. The best part about Philip is his versatility. The fact that he can use as any command troop type whatsoever, and then he goes well with Liu Che, he goes well with the Arthur, he goes well with probably Zhuge Liang, he probably goes well with Herman too. Like, he can basically be any commander replacement. So in terms of best commander for you to invest in today, I would say that Philip is probably the best of the S tier, best of the best god candidates in the game at the moment. Now let's move on to infantry. So infantry, there's a couple options, right? There's William Wallace. There is Ragnar Prime. But I think at the end of the day, Liu Che is probably the best infantry investment that you can make. And as of February 25, 2025. So this could change when the new infantry commander information release in maybe a couple months or a couple weeks, that is. But right now, I think infantry is still the best, with Liu Che as the best god candidate. Because with the smite damage with the smite damage direction the infantry is going in, probably best for you to have Liu Che so that you can activate this basic attack more. It's not probably as good as Philip because of how versatile leadership is, but Liu Che is up there in my opinion. Now moving on to archers. So archers, I think the only two candidates that we have is Shazar and Zhuge Liang and Herman. And for archers, I think Zhuge Liang is probably the best option. So the reason for that is, for one, Zhuge Liang Herman is really, really good on the field right now, and that is the best one archer combo that I can use. Although archer might be going towards the healing meta in the future, which will potentially put Shazar into a better investment, quote unquote. But I think a lot of you have probably seen Shazar not perform so well on the field. I think her skill set when Lilith made her was kind of reserved in terms of how powerful she is, because of how strong the healing can be on the field. So I think at this very moment, Zhuge Liang is probably the best investment for you in archers. Now, would that mean that this will never, like, Shazar will never be in this year? No, but at this very moment, February 25, 2025, I think still Zhuge Liang is probably the best archer investment. Now for Cavalry, this is where it gets a little tough, right? So Cavalry, the reason why Cavalry suffers so long before Arthur release was because they had mediocre commanders for a very long time. Now, Nevsky was great for a very long time, but he is very outdated. He's at least 3 years old. Joan was great, but she's also pretty outdated at this point. And Belisarius Prime is just really bad. Now, I think at the borderline, at the very least, I think Ho should either be best god candidates, great now but sus. Unfortunately, I think I have to put Ho in great now but sus. But is it? Actually, I'll just put Ho at the best god candidate still. Just because I think, for one, even if Arthur becomes Delta slash combo commander in the future, Poe should still be very usable with Joan, in my opinion. And because of his rage reduction after not entering combat for 30 seconds, Poe is still very, very powerful commander. But there is like a big gap between I think those two commanders and Philip even. But I think Poe should still be considered as. You know what? I think I should put Poe in great now but sus. No, but the rage reduction, yeah. Let's just put him in the best god candidates. It's going to be weird if you're missing a cavalry commander in the best god candidates, just because we don't, yeah, because they have mediocre commanders. So I just include it in here to keep the concept that best god candidates mean that except for the only god, the S plus tier, you can actually invest in those commanders. I think Poe is probably the best option because of his rage reduction. Now preseason conquest only. So I'll go ahead and just drag and drop all the commanders that I think are very useful. So Minamoto is great, but Richard's better. Yi Sung-gis just, I think, still one of the best commanders, but Alex is still a little bit better than Yi Sung-gi. Then I think all those commanders can go into preseason conquest only. So now I don't think you should invest in Edward Woodstock, so I'll just actually put him in trash. No, actually, they're both usable in rallies. I think I should readjust this. Great. Rally press garrison only. Okay, so Edward and Tamiris can be in the trash area. Cao, I don't think I should put him in the preseason of conquest only. I think this should be still great preseason of conquest only. So I'll put all those other commanders up there. I think Mehmet can still make it to the great preseason of conquest. Frederick, I'll put him as like the borderline because he does have that 2400 damage vector they can use. I think Ethel is pretty good in my opinion, but it's free, so not much investment going on here. I think Mulan is pretty good. Now Tutmos, in terms of power level, he's probably up there, but in terms of investing, I can't recommend that you invest in him. So Hannibal is probably the only Lubu tier that I can think of. Yeah, Hannibal is a Lubu tier, no doubt. Lubu can actually be in the very front just to represent the Lubu tier, but like Hannibal is trash. Don't buy him. Ragnar, regular Ragnar, that's like trash. I think Purist is pretty good, better than Mehmet. No, a little bit worse than Mehmet, but he's not recommended for. Yeah, I can't recommend him for investment. Charlemagne is another Lubu tier, very trashy. No one should be using him. I think Wu Zetian is usable. Actually, he's just pretty good as a garrison. She's pretty good as a garrison in KPK too. So if you want to invest in him, for whatever reason, you can still use her. Okay, so I think he is probably Constantine is probably very usable amongst the barely usable because of the canyon usage that you can have with him. Attila's actually probably still one of the great garrisons. But actually, is that everything that pre-season conquest commanders? Do I have anything else? I'll put all the gathering into the Lubu tier just because we don't use them for combat. Alright, well, Attila's still a great rally or garrison. I think you can still include him as great rally and garrison just because of the fact that Subutai is coming. And also, you still can use Attila as Attila Nevsky rally, which is not really, I don't recommend that rally at all, but still usable. But you can also use other smite damage commander rally and garrison with Attila, so he's very versatile. And I actually maxed him because I think in future scenarios there will be great use for him because of the fact that he does buff normal damage a lot. Takeda, I think Takeda at this point is probably trash. There's no use for him in my opinion. Guan is probably good now, but can't recommend investing today. Maybe he can be in the very last seat of A tier, but I think his best place is actually the very front of the B tier. Good now, but can't recommend investing today. Now Leonidas is barely usable in my opinion. He's actually, I think he's pretty trash. I think Ramses is trash, but not as trash as the other ones. I think Artemis, no one uses Artemis, I think. Even if you use him with user with what's her name, the Boudica Prime, actually. But she is, I think, if you're building multiple, if you're building 3-4 archer matches, I don't know why you would do that, but if you're thinking about doing, you can still technically use them. I think Boudica is probably, not a lot of people actually use Boudica nowadays, so I'll put her at the very front seat of the very least. No, I'll put her at the very last seat of good now, with the exception of the Season of Conquest commanders. Now, YSS is probably barely usable, but in the front area. William is actually good now, but can't recommend investing today. Better than Boudica, but not better than Guan. Theo, trash? No, actually trash, but better than some of the other commanders. Cao is probably barely usable, but he's pre-Season of Conquest, so I'll just put him there. He does have pretty good usages, which is like, I think, actually like carrying out arcs and stuff, but yeah. I'll try to go to his trash now, I think. Herald is actually pretty good, actually. Herald is actually a use on the field. Actually, let me change the C. Usable. Don't invest. So, I think C is usable, but don't invest today. Because Herald is very good, I think, if you use him right, but it's not. Just don't invest today. I think Xeno is usable. She's a little better than YSS, I think. I think Cyrus is now really the front part of trash. Nevu's usable, but don't invest today. But he's probably the very first. Yeah, he's very usable. Trajan's interesting. I think he's still good now, but can't recommend investing today because some people build Trajan March and it works really well because of the rage generation. And he's very tanky, he doesn't really die, so I think at the end of the day, Trajan's usable. This is trash. Shang Yu. Is he usable if you use 3 marches? So let's see. 3 marches are, so Poe, Arthur, and then Nevsky Drone. Can you use Shang Yu? Shang Yu, but actually Belly Prime is probably better, so Shang Yu is probably the best trash. I don't want yet Vega. Pacao is actually pretty usable. But do not invest in today. But do not invest in today. So this is unrecommendable, and then this do not invest. CY is probably trash, around where Leonidas is. Gilgamesh is probably trash. I don't even know what her name is, but she's not really used anymore. This is Takeda, right? Takeda is probably trash. I was thinking that, is there a way for you to use him? But 1350 rage requirement just tells you that he's just trash. I don't even know who this guy's name is, but trash. Okay, so now Nevsky. Now Nevsky's great now, but sus probably, but he's probably towards the very end of great now, but sus. Bert is not usable in my opinion, along with like Leonidas. Oh, okay. So I think this is another great now, but sus. Scipio Prime, a very great now, but sus at the end of the day. Henry is a good garrison. Good rally. He's probably one of the best rallies that you can have. Flavius probably is usable, but towards the end. Joan is a lot better than Nevsky, but not as good as Scipio Prime at the end of the day. But is it though? If you're building 2 marches, Joan, I think Joan will always be there, even after the next release. So actually, Joan might be better than Scipio Prime, because Scipio Prime can be replaced by anything at this point, because you have, for the 2, if you're only building 2 infantry marches, right, you have Duce plus Alpha, whether that is Alex or Philip. And if the next commander release for infantry is skill damage, is Scipio going to be subbed out because you already have a Ragnar Prime? So yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Joan is better because Joan's skill mechanism, at least she does enough damage. So yeah, and Ziska is probably, so this actually changes. So this should be meta and garrison, meta, rally, and garrison only. So yeah, Ziska's probably pretty good, better than Trajan in terms of investment, but I can't recommend investing in Yanziska today, because right now the best is Eleanor Hera for Cavalry. I think if that's the case, then I think we should just bump him down to usable, but do not invest today list, because at least Uzi Tian actually has uses in pre-seasonal conquest. But I still can't recommend her actually. And I can't recommend investing in Tutmos too. So I'm moving him down, but better than Edward Woodstock. Okay. Sargon's probably good now, but it's just probably a little better than he's probably a little better than Boudica. Targivens, yeah, probably better. I don't know if he's better than, if you're thinking about only infantry march, what is the best infantry march? Scipio. Okay, so, but actually, in terms of rally, archers are better. This is a tough one. I don't know which one actually goes first. It depends on who you have. Given that the current best rally is archer, I think Henry still comes before Targivens, yeah. Now so she is good now, I think, but I can't recommend using her today. I don't think he is stacked. This is another engineering commander. I forgot what his name is. Maybe it's Baba or something like that. Bybars. Yeah, but I can't recommend using him because there's other infantry commanders. So this one, so Hera's he's really good actually. He's probably the strongest garrison leadership commander that we have. So I'll put him before anything else, because you can still run a archer rally without Henry technically, although he's the best in my opinion. But Hera's still OP. Meta rally. Ditto's not so much garrison, but he'll be at the very last seat of garrison, because at the end of the day, if you want an archer garrison, I think Ditto's still used. Justinian, I'll put him before Attila for now, but he's gonna probably move up. Attila's gonna move up the ladder a lot sooner than you might think, because of the fact that Subutai will release. Actually, I'm going to bump Justinian down, because he's good now, but I can't recommend investing in Justinian to anyone at this point. because Super Tight is going to be a lot the meta Cavalry rally. And then, yeah, that's just it. I can't recommend him. Period. Gorgo, the best infantry garrison and the best garrison in the game whatsoever. The reason why she's behind Hera is because Hera's usable on any meta garrison at this point. So that's why. Herman Prime. Herman Prime is probably better than all three of those, so I'm gonna put him up. In the very first scene of the Great Now, Basas, he does poison damage. It does inflict the debuff. Is great with Sugelian right now. I don't see him going away anytime soon too, but he's not the god candidate. He's very close because of the poison debuff, but yeah. Asher Paul. Best archer rally is probably before Henry. That's his better than Henry. That's it. I can't recommend Gaza, but he's probably better recommended than Trajan. He's good now. I actually would put him Gonzalez up here, just because if engineering comes with any smite damage commander, I think he's gonna be the best pair either way. Now this is Lapu Lapu is probably usable, but not the meta garrison either way. It's about your city. No one cares about your city. But yeah, don't invest in him today. Now, Belly Prime. Good now, but can recommend investing today. At the very last seat. Even worse than the Margaret, because Margaret is very versatile, if you think about her. But Belly Prime's not that good. Eleanor is actually a pretty good garrison. The best Cav garrison, but worse than Gorgo. Worse than Hera. I can't say she's better than Arsha Renapol in terms of investment, but better than Henry for sure, in my opinion. So I'll put her there. Scipio Aurelius. I'll put him probably between Eleanor and Arsha Renapol. He is going to be the best infantry rally if paired with Tarek Ibn Ziyad or any other smite damage rally commander. And then in the future, if you get another smite rally, I think he'll probably shine once more. So in terms of investment wise, I think he's pretty up there. William. I think William is great now, but if another smite open field comes out, I don't think you can really push out the Uche, so I think he's a little sus. He's a little better than Nevsky though. I think he's a little better than Scipio Prime as well. Joan though, because Joan will be used with Hull either way, even if whatever, even like despite what happens to Arthur, in my opinion. So, and Joan does a lot of AoE, and if you actually control her skill damage and race cycle well, you can actually use her skill twice every single time. It's just a trick on the, if you can use some trick on the field. So, anyways, Joan is probably actually I think William is better than Joan. Choi Young, I think he's a little better than Dito, but that's it. I don't think he's really that much better. Shazar. So right now she's not that strong. I don't think a lot of people use Shazar on the field. She's almost in the same position as Belly Prime in terms of like the archer, but archers can go the route of healing in the future. So I think I'll put her at the end of Great Now but Sus, because she can technically be the second Archer March like meta bringer. So I think she's a great investment now, but still there is a sus. Now Ragnar Prime. I think he still needs to be great now, but sus. He's better than Shazar for sure. Better than FC. Now is he better than Scipio Prime? I think so. Let's just put him in front of Joan, because I think he is better than Joan. So that was it. Wow, I thought it would take a lot longer for me to actually do rank everyone, every single commander in Rise of Kingdoms. Just go ahead and make some minor adjustments here and there. So Archer March, basically the first March, Zhuge Liang and Herman. Second March, Shazar plus Alpha. What is that plus Alpha gonna be? Probably, probably Nebu. So I think Nebu needs to go up a little more. Or Asher Venipal, if you actually want to use Asher Venipal in the field. So, but just the fact that you're part of that 2 March group for that same troop type, I think Nebu needs to go up a little bit more. In terms of other ones, let's see. I think this is in a great order. Actually, I'll put Sargon down a little bit just because I think engineering commanders are still good. And I think the latest engineering commander is now on the list, so maybe that's probably why. But if they were there, I'll put them right here in between William and Sargon. And everything else, I think is good. This is probably what I would do for the field. So, what do you think? Is this? I think this is probably the best that I can come up with, in my opinion. There might be some order difference that I would make starting from B onward, but everything else is just basically, yeah. I think everything else is pretty good up here, which is where everyone should be looking at the best investment tier list for Rise of Kingdoms, because I doubt that you'll have 1,000, 2,000 gold heads lying around for you to actually reach anything beyond A if you're looking to invest in a commander and if you're watching this video. So hopefully this was helpful for you. Please go ahead and like and subscribe for more content. And I'll actually make one last adjustment. Khan probably needs to go down here because after your KVK 2 is done, your Season of Conquest commander is just going to be much better. Anyways, I hope this video helped. Please like and subscribe. Just for reference, for those like gold keys and like other commanders that are available for pre-season of conquest, I actually rank them based on how they're used in their own time. So please keep that in mind. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and like and subscribe for the video so that I make more contents like this. Just for your information, I only 2 to 3% of the audience that watch my content actually subscribe for the videos, subscribe for my channel. So it will help me out a ton if you can subscribe for the channel. But with that said, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next video.